Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Swati, and on this channel, I share a lot about journaling and the books that I'm reading. If you are an existing subscriber, then thank you so much for all your love and support. I really appreciate continuing to follow my journey. So before I get into the review, I just wanted to, uh, rant a bit over here. Last year, I wanted to take a break to catch up with life in general, but something that was meant to be a mental health break turned out to be an 8 month long sabbatical, I would say. So a lot has been happening, but yeah, now that everything is in the past, I am really looking forward to get back to filming these YouTube videos and sharing all the books that I'm reading with all of you. So today we're going to talk about this book called Many Lives of Pauloma Chattopadhyay by Devangi Bhatt. This is, I would say, this is the first book that I read in 2026, and this is an amazing story. How do I put this? This is a classic example of modern Indian English literature. So earlier this year, one of my goals was to read more contemporary Indian fiction. So that was the reason why I picked this book as sort of a Christmas present, and I don't regret. I really don't regret any aspect of it. So there's a lot that I can talk about the book, but I really don't want to give away any spoilers. So I'll try to review this book as much as I can without spoiling anything for you. So as always, I have my journal over here. So please pardon me if I'm not looking into the camera. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the premise of the story. Because the from the cover, the interesting part of the story, every aspect of it is really intriguing, and especially the premise. Now, the story is about a middle-aged Bengali woman who lives in Bengal. So that part I felt a bit interesting because the author is a Gujarati, and she has written about this Bengali woman and her life with so much detail that at one point you will be like, am I really living in Bengal? So I'm really curious, like, why did she chose a Bengali household as the focal point of the story? I don't know nowhere it is mentioned, but that was um, that really piqued my interest. So, before I really get into the story and the highlights about the story, I just wanted to share a little bit about things that are happening here in India. um, India is experiencing a major cultural transformation, something that Europe has seen during the late 80s and throughout 90s. Conversations like gender disparity, gender identity, sexuality, sexism, all these are happening all around us. And the, the influence of all these transformations is clearly seen in every aspect of our life, be it our the way we talk, the way we dress, the media that we are consuming, the books that we are reading, the movies that we are watching. This influence is there all around us. And this story, The Many Lives of Pauloma Chattopadhyay, is one classic example. So, if you are really interested to learn more about modern India, or you're just venturing out into Indian contemporary Indian literature, contemporary Indian fiction, then I would say this is a very good place to start with. This story When I say we are experiencing a major cultural transformation, our values and beliefs are still deep rooted in our culture and traditions. So the author has actually captured that really well. Like, she has captured Indian values, Indian family system, Indian traditions, culture, while covering a really progressive and modern themes. I'll talk more about that when I talk about the highlights of this story. um, some authors here in India are really trying to trying to bring more contemporary stories, but I haven't come across a woman who talked about all these themes so subtly yet so boldly. So I really don't know what to say. Like, I'm really in awe with the way she has written the entire story. Now, coming to the highlights of the story, I would classify this as magical realism. This is a classic piece of a modern feminist literature. Again, if the word feminism itself sends jitters down your spine, or you're one of those people who really triggered by who really gets triggered by the word feminism itself, then please skip this video. This is not for you. When I say feminism, again, modern feminism, this is not any man hating story. This is about a woman embracing her true identity. So throughout the story, we will see Paloma Chattopadhyay. She is the main character of the story. We will see the lives of four different women through the eyes of Paloma Chattopadhyay. So Paloma herself and three other women. So there is something for everybody in this story. There is not one theme that goes throughout the story. There are many themes, like multiple timelines, um, gender disparity, midlife crisis. What else? Unfulfilled sexual desires. There's post World War trauma. You name it, there is something in this story for everybody. At its core, this book explores the complexities of modern relationships through the consciousness of a woman. And I'm really impressed with the way this author explores all these themes and all these complexities within 200 pages. So this is a very short book. You can just finish reading this in half a day, because the story is so fast paced. Now, the language is pretty much modern Indian English. Now, if you have heard any Indians speak, or you have co-workers who are Indians, you must have noticed that there is a huge influence of our native language on the dialect of English that we speak. So we tend to bring some words from our native language, and we conveniently mix them in English and make it our uh, own dialect. So this book, I would say, it has some Bengali words used throughout the prose. And if you are not used to hearing or reading that kind of English, there is a glossary at the back of the book, covering, giving you the list of all the words, all the meaning, explaining all the meanings of the Bengali words that were used in the story. I am not a Bengali, but I really did not have to pause anywhere to understand the contextual meaning of a particular word. So, as I said, if you're not used to, that kind of English, or you are not at all familiar with any of the Indian languages, then you might have to do a little bit of back and forth to understand the contextual meaning of a particular Bengali word. But otherwise, it doesn't really pause your thought process anyway. I will like give you a little spoiler on the book, because it does, I really don't want to spoil the surprise that is there in store for you. I want you to read this book and really appreciate this work. So this is the story of a middle-aged Bengali woman who actually uh, travels across multiple timelines and gets to live the life of three different women. And the best part is that all this action happens, as I said, within 200 pages, and we can see the lives of four women across 4 decades. So the story happens maybe in the late 20th century and early 21st century. I think that's how we can um, talk about the timeline. I really liked how that whole narrative has been, tied together, and really impressed with the way Devangi has written about post World War trauma, the kind of trauma that women experienced and all. So yeah, it is really amazing. So after reading the story, I really understood why Devangi Bhatt received the Sahitya Academy Award. So this story was originally written in Gujarati and by Devangi Bhatt, and later translated into English by Mudra Joshi. So the original Gujarati work received the National Sahitya Academy Award. So that's all about the story. I highly recommend this book. This is like the first 5 out of 5 book that I have read in 2026. So yeah, if you have braved to till this point of the video, thank you so much once again for all your love and support. If you have already read this book, do let me know your the thoughts in the comments. I really cannot stop myself from talking about this story and this book. I have recommended this to all my friends and co-workers as well. So yes, thank you so much for your support. I'm really trying my best to get back to filming these videos. I really, enjoy connecting with all of you and talking about the books that all of us are reading. So once again, thank you so much. I will see you when I see you next.